most people are using AI incorrectly, right? Some people are underusing it, some people are overusing it, and I think we found what we consider a sweet spot.
All right. Chris Ralph here, AI SEO expert at chrisralph.com. And then I'm also the founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. So today I invited Daniel Burns, our COO over at Boulder SEO Marketing. And Daniel, I just put you on the spot. We just had a meeting with the entire team. And I ask you to help me record this AI SEO tip today because we hosted last week the first AI SEO and GEO, Generative Engine Optimization online summit. That's going to be hosted probably once a quarter or so under the Chris Ralph AI SEO brand, where I invite some of the best known experts in the industry that share information and knowledge on what's going on with artificial intelligence, search engine optimization, and generative engine optimization, because things are changing so rapidly. It's mind-blowing. It keeps me up at night. So I'll put the link to the information that we discuss here in this video right below. So definitely check out the next online summit link right below. I'm also going to include the link to the recording of this summit that we hosted last week right below. So definitely check that out. Daniel, I invited you to speak about our AI SEO methodology and our BSM Copilot tool that we just launched version 2.0 this week in last week's summit. And I invited you today to basically talk about or show what I think is the most interesting part of the presentation that you gave, basically where we turn one piece of content, once we create that, into many pieces of content. It's a methodology that I call multi-platform content creation, optimization, and distribution. And before I let you talk, I'm going to quickly explain how this came about. About 2 years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh my God, we are a little behind in terms of AI and SEO. Things are changing so fast after ChatGPT launched, and we need to be able to offer a better AI SEO solution. I spent 6 days prompt engineering. I took those prompts to you and I said, hey, build me a tool that does all the things that I created. So this is what we're going to show in this AI SEO tip. I'm so excited for Daniel, you to join me today and show what we have created. I think it's groundbreaking. I think it's what everybody needs. So, So we create the ultimate piece of content using our micro SEO methodology. Daniel, as part of creating the ultimate piece of content that actually has a real chance to rank at the top in Google and these AI search engines such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, etc., we do a lot of things, including, if you want to just very briefly explain what are the main components of creating basically the ultimate piece of content that we then use to turn into many, many other pieces of content, what you're going to show us in a second here. So let's start with main components of micro SEO strategy.
Sure. Should I go ahead and share my screen already and walk you through those? Or
yeah, maybe just very briefly introduce yourself, and yeah, feel free do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, perfect. So, so my name is Daniel Burns. I'm the operating officer at Boulder SEO Marketing, and my job is essentially to get Chris's vision in terms of what we should be doing and implementing it into processes that we're able to use. One of the things, and I hope you guys take the time to watch the presentation from last week, is I go into a lot of detail about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and most importantly, why we're doing it, right? One of the things that I truly believe in, as we've all been extremely overwhelmed with AI, right? There's a lot of people, most people are using AI incorrectly, right? Some people are underusing it, some people are overusing it. And I think we found what we consider a sweet spot. And it's a sweet spot that we call a human driven AI assisted, right? We're using AI to do the things that AI does best, but it's still very much driven by our project managers and AI operators. And which means it still takes time to do these things, but it's being done with a lot of AI assistance, which gives it much more depth and intelligence. So that's the first thing. So I'll show you, let me share my screen real quick and I'll kind of walk you guys through a little bit of snapshot of the presentation. So let me go to my screen and then perfect. So one of the things that I go into detail is essentially this map, which is hopefully, yeah, perfect. So I think what Chris was referring to when he first brought me on to speak right now is this first section right here, which is when we are going to either, and I'm going to make some annotations in here, when we're going to create, new pages or existing pages, or we're going to make a better page that of an existing page, we go through a very in-depth process of really creating the information that needs to be used as part of the process to make sure that the best page is going to be created. What are those elements? Well, those elements are going to be what you see up here in yellow. It's going to be all of the information that really communicates that the person who's speaking, the client, the business entity, are true experts on what they do and what they talk about. Buyer persona profiles and messaging guide in terms of the voice and the communication. Why? Because this final piece of information can't be just another how-to guide, right? That's the one thing that Google is really trying to get rid of. What they want to see is how we guides or how I guide, specifically on the approach of the business and the professional on how they do that thing or how they approach that topic. This part is extremely important. What you see on the bottom here is all of the research that goes into it. So let's say that, we have top 3 keywords that we're really focusing on improving the rankings for. What we do is we get those keywords and we're going to do a SERP analysis, an AI overview, Gemini results, Perplexity results, and we want to find out what is each one of those systems returning in terms of information, and we feed that into the process as well. Why is that important? Well, because those are the results that Google and Gemini and these other platforms deem the most relevant, authoritativeness, focused results. So those are the ones that we want to beat. We want to become a better, more informative piece than those. Those go into it. And then the white one here, this is the one that really takes time from our project managers and the clients working together to talk about when we redo this piece, what's the strategy behind it, right? Why are we redoing this? What's the main goal? What are the big advantages? And this, all of the work that goes into it. The reason that I say that this is really a human-driven process is because making sure that we get all of this information, a lot of it is AI driven, right, for this research, that goes into our BSM Copilot, and then really working with a custom agent that we create for that specific client. We go through a very intricate kind of step process working with the AI to create a final piece of content. Now, the reason that I say that we found that sweet spot is because the interaction between the project manager and strategist, collecting all of this information and working with AI very carefully, creates a piece of content that we know for a fact, just because we do this so much for a lot of our clients, that these pages will definitely have an improved ranking, not only on search results, but also they start showing up more on AI agents and they're mentioned and so forth. That's the first step, is creating this awesome piece of content, right? The second step, which Chris was referring to, which is the GEO part of it, is once we've created this awesome net new piece of content on the internet, going out there and promoting it is a very, very important next step. What does that mean? It's making sure that we slice and dice this piece of content to create a LinkedIn newsletter, maybe a post for the LinkedIn company page, maybe a LinkedIn personal post. LinkedIn is here 3 times. Why? Because we've come to understanding, and Chris can talk more about this, LinkedIn has become an extremely powerful platform for us to build EEAT, right? And then again, other social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we definitely want to do a press release. We might want to do a newsletter. If there's other platforms, we do email posts. Now, all of this here used to take a lot of time. All of this here used to take a lot of time as well. But how do we use AI to become more efficient, right? The idea is that by leveraging AI, we're still trying to do more work, but it's still what we're focusing on is quality over quantity, right? We don't want to produce so much content that we're blasting, Google with all of this stuff. The focus is, yes, we can increase the quantity of what we're doing slightly, but the importance is everything that we do needs to be of the highest quality, where Google is going to index this thing and say, yes, this is a piece of information that really is the most thought leadership piece of information because of all of the expertise that these people bring to the table. And because of all of these elements that we think are important today, they're combined into this new piece. So let me show you now the next step. Once we have this final piece of content, one of the tools we've built that we're really proud of is essentially our Trello board. And the Trello board is what we call our content hub, right? So for a specific client, and this I just created a test board. This is each one of these cards, just so you understand what you're looking at. When you come in as a client, we're going to understand what are the cards, what are the assets that you as a client need, right? So let's say that this sample client's going to need a press release, a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post, Instagram post, and we can go on and create each one of these. You'll see one in here that's, for example, for internal linking. Oh, some images, some infographics, all of this stuff. Look at this, infographics. It's all stuff that used to take us hours and hours to create. Now, each one of these cards, by using N8N, which is the ability to create prompts and interact with any LLM.
So N8N, that's a tool, right?
Yeah. And just so you
Yeah.
know what we're using. So this is a very powerful tool that allows developers to really use AI to customize it to do whatever you want. So for example, if you want if you wanted to go to a stock photography, do a search, find the best picture, bring the picture in, go through the text, find what is the relevant, most important elevator pitch, and then do an image with that elevator pitch on it. You can do that very specific customization, right? So the beauty of it is once you spend the time initially on the project to create each one of these prompts and each one of these instructions, then you can pretty much automate the creation of all of these assets moving forward. So here's an example, right? Let's say that this final content, and I put in one of the pages on our website, which is this one right here. And we've done this very customization for ourselves. We simply go in here and we press, all right, this piece of content, start the automation. And when we trigger it, I think I might have hit save on here. Yep, I think that's going to go. And essentially what it's going to do, then it's going to start doing each one of these different cards. So for example, I'll show you one while this one's getting produced. A press release. So it gives us the press release with the meta titles and descriptions and so forth, specifically designed and written for this company. A Facebook, an Instagram, and here you go. Here you could see that it's starting to produce these. Now, some of our clients will say, hey, these look great. As soon as you create these, automatically post them for us in their social media. So then what we do here is we can then open up the labels again and say, you know what, this has been approved. And once this gets approved, it automatically links it to and posts on the social media platforms with links back to the piece. It's creating amazing content, it's posting, it's promoting, and it's stuff that used to take us several hours and days and weeks to do. Now, by using this technology here, is something that we're really automating using AI the way it should be used, and doing a lot more, a lot better for less, right? Before I wrap up, I think the one last thing that I want to say is a big takeaway from the presentation that I did was that in this world of AI and how businesses are using AI and how agencies are using AI, right? There's that sweet spot of the human driven AI assisted, right? Where on one side, there's companies and agencies that are just producing mass content without any research or without any thinking behind it. That is something that's really hurting them and hurting their clients. And on the other side, people that are really kind of hesitant to use AI and they're still doing a lot of stuff manually, that's also hurting them, right? So this that we've built here is an automation that I truly feel is that sweet spot where we're still leveraging AI, but we're still having that human lead, kind of guidance and interaction that truly makes this process work. So hopefully that gives everybody an idea of how powerful this system is and, what we are implementing to our clients. That's truly a game changer.
And also, hey, Daniel, go back to the other slide real quick, please. I think something that we need to stress, or probably questions that people have, is like, hey, you're with this, you're just creating AI generated content, that's against Google Webmaster Guidelines, blah, blah, blah. So let's quickly talk about the customer client agent, or, I use virtual Chris. Can you just quickly explain what that is? What are we doing? What is a customer client agent? And then why does this allow us to create AI generated content?
For sure. So there's two things to answer that question, actually, in terms of we're not just creating AI generated content. There's the first thing, which I'll refer to, which is what Chris mentioned, is this custom client agent. So every customer that we get in, let's say it's going to be Acme Company, we're going to build and train an LLM, a agent that is going to be 100% customized on this client. What does that mean? Well, it means we're going to build a knowledge base, and I'll show you an example of that. Right now, what we're using is chat GPTs. So we're going to create a specific project, which is a digital client. What is a digital client? I'll show you an example. Right, I created one for Fox Properties. This is one of our clients. You'll see in here that there's 33 files. What are these files? These files are pieces of information that truly tell them about the leadership and the culture and who they are, the missions, the values. What are they all about? There's going to be content in here that is going to be here, the audio, the personas, all of the information. Then what we do is with the leadership team, we're going through and we are creating interviews that they're doing voice recordings. We put the transcripts in here. Why? Because now this AI client here that we're building really thinks like the client, communicates like the client, and there's very strict instructions when we go through this process for the AI not to hallucinate, not to create stuff, not to go out to the internet and then just like come up with stuff. It's really based on everything that we've uploaded about the client, the information about the client, so forth. So step number one, everything that we are doing in terms of creating an outline, doing the research, even creating this first initial draft of content is really truly done with the lenses of the client in mind. So at the end of the day, when this piece of content is written by the AI, it's extremely similar to what it would have been if it was written by the client. That's the first piece. The second piece is we have still the editor on here, right? So this first piece of content that is generated by the AI then goes to a human, right? Which then cross-checks everything, goes through the thing, humanizes it. So what we're doing here is instead of giving this writer editor a set of instructions to go out there and say, hey, here's an outline, go out and create the best piece of information. What we're doing is, again, we're leveraging all of this research, the power of this custom agent and the strength that the AI brings that allows us to create this piece of content that has all of those elements that we know is what Google and all these other agents are looking for. And with the assistance of the editor going through and cleaning it up and adjusting it, brings that, again, combination of human driven AI assisted that creates this final piece of content that was assisted by AI, but it wasn't just written by AI.
Yeah, so basically it feeds on real source content that was created by the customer, right? And this is probably one of the most important aspects of this GEO methodology that we developed. Daniel, I don't know if you can do a quick Google search for, I want to show an example of a fully AI generated piece of content. If you do want to search for SEO price guide, SEO price guide. So right there, the first blue link, and we're also in the AI overview. So if you want to click on that, this guide, 100% created by Virtual Chris with sophisticated prompting that we created using our BSM Copilot system. Obviously, as you can tell, we went through the content, added custom screenshots, images, tables, etc. So we probably spent, a couple of hours going through the content, but man, the initial output was incredibly already good. And just by adding the human element of going through this piece of content and making the tweaks here and there, within no time, we got this page to rank at the very top in Google for a very competitive search term, where we're now outranking, some of the biggest players in the industry. Yeah. All right, awesome. Daniel, anything else to add here? But this is basically what you presented in the AI, SEO, and GEO online summit. We launched BSM Copilot version 2.0, I think for all of our clients last week, right? Is
Yep.
everybody like merged over now to this new platform?
Yeah, so we did an all hands kind of transition workshop in our company on Thursday and Friday of last week, where we moved over all of our clients to this new Copilot. We created new agents in this new platform. So as of yesterday, all of our clients are now using this new methodology. And with that being said, as they're using this new methodology, I'm working with the rest of the AI task force on creating new systems and new AI things that get implemented into this Copilot, so we can do again more intelligently with less time. And that's, I think it's a win-win for everyone. So, and again, it's going to be a matter of time before we jump into Copilot 3.0, right? Things are changing so fast. So the importance of what I do and the importance, most importantly, of what Chris does is really understanding what new tools are out there, what is the direction that we're moving in, right? In this SEO, GEO, and then understanding that we need to change before it's too late, ahead of the schedule, so we can implement, launch these things, and be ahead of the curve in everything that we're doing, not only in content creation, but also on the EEAT building. That's another big, huge part of, the strategies that we do for our clients. But yeah, in a nutshell, it's an ever evolving system, and we're constantly on top of it to make sure that it's the best it can be.
Yeah, so I'm actually excited. Things are finally changing with AI, right? For a long time, SEO, was pretty stale, to be honest. Now, this is an amazing opportunity for, people like Daniel and me who've been doing this for 20, 30 years to really put our knowledge, experience, expertise to work. And I'm very excited and proud of what we created. The results that we're able to achieve are really remarkable. So I hope if you're still watching this, you learned something new. Hopefully you are as excited as we are. We'll keep you posted on updates to our BSM Copilot platform and AI SEO methodology. As always, everybody, thank you for watching. Stay safe and healthy. Daniel, thank you so much. I just put you on the spot and you did a great job. Can't wait to see where this is going. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you next time again. Chris Rolfe here, AI SEO expert, founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.